Welcome back, guys. So, after talking with my wife today, she said that she wanted me to do a video on what I knew about the Kia and Hyundai auto thefts. All right. So, whether you do or don't know this, there are a ton of models out there made by Kia and Hyundai that are highly stolen. And you might be wondering, well, why is that? Well, because one of our great little friends, TikTok. All right, a TikTok challenge has made it well known that these vehicles are a little bit easier to steal than other cars. So there's challenges out there, and I don't know if that has ever brought any value to anybody other than I don't see anything of value on that. But nonetheless, here we are today, and you have a Kia or Hyundai sitting in your driveway, and is it affected? Now, before we go too far, you got to understand, Kia and Hyundai make a really, really good car. Now, back in the, late 90s and 2000s, Hyundai and Kia were not necessarily known for being a great car. Well, over the last 10 years, they've changed that. It is a spectacular car. They make tons of different great models that kind of fit lots of different buyers' needs. And here we are today when people are putting their hard-earned money into vehicles and little D-bag people are stealing them. For what? Basically a joyride, right? So you're causing damage and everything like that. Well, here's the list of the vehicles that are basically attached to this issue. So reading right off the thing says the 2015 to 21 Ascent or Accent, Elantra, Kona, SanteFe, Sonata, Tucson, including the Veloster. On Kia's side, you're probably looking at the 15 to 21 Forte, Optima, Ria, Sedona, Soul, and Sportage, including the Optima Hybrid and Sorrento. I've also found out today it also includes some Seltos models. So let's just put it this way, guys. If you own a Kia or Hyundai vehicle, you might be at risk. However, there is one way that you can tell if you are or aren't affected. If you have a keyless entry vehicle, meaning there's no key that goes in the ignition, no physical ignition that is attached to a key, you are not going to have an issue with this alarming trend. However, people that are affected by it, that use a key to turn on the ignition itself, have like an ignition switch on the steering column, some of those people are actually getting rejected for insurance coverage because really, it's a hard thing for people to wrap their head around. But insurance companies, they like you to pay for insurance, but don't like to pay out. Now, that doesn't mean they aren't doing what they're supposed to do, but knowingly having these issues with vehicle thefts, they're warning people. Hey, so I'm not going to even name the insurance companies, but that information is out there. So you wonder, how do I defeat this? Well, criminals, especially TikTok criminals, are probably more opportunists than they are rocket scientists. So a few suggestions would be: 1, lock your vehicle at night. 2, tint your front windows to match the rear windows and put a sunscreen in. That's going to limit their ability to see inside the vehicle. You can then take some of those sunscreens and actually block or cover the ignition area so they can't see. Again, opportunity is what they're doing. They're looking in the window. They're seeing that there is an ignition switch that they can, bust into and get the car running. So if you can cover that, they can't see it. Another thing, you might have seen it way back in the 90s, the club, okay? They have steering wheel locks. Again, opportunists are not going to have the ability to defeat those mechanical lock type things. Is it a pain in the butt? Not really, but it's going to take a few extra seconds to put that on your steering wheel. But is it cheaper than, say, having to pay a deductible on your insurance? Is it going to be cheaper than being out of your car? And most of us have a lot of personal belonging inside of our vehicles, right? So why would you want somebody to even have the opportunity to steal it? So if you can put a steering wheel lock on the vehicle or cover the ignition switch so they can't see it, it might protect the stuff you have in the back. Stuff that's irreplaceable, a kid's blanket that their grandma made, a car seat, Christmas packages. These turds don't necessarily care even about that crap. They just want to take your car, trash it, take it for a spin, and be a D-bag about it. So my cheapest suggestion for you guys is, like I said, tint the windows. If you can't do that, cover the ignition with an extra window screen. Set a blanket over the ignition while it's being parked at night. leave your freaking porch lights on. If the vehicle's parked outside, again, dark, unlit areas invite crime. I was in a profession for a very long time where I would tell people all the time, leave your porch lights on. And I tell that to people in my neighborhood, leave your porch lights on. And they do a pretty good job for the most part, but then after a while, they all start trickling down where they're all off. Dark shadows invite crime. It gives people opportunity to not be seen by doorbells or whatever kind of things you have on the front, your security cameras. And so at the end of the day, these people usually are stealing your vehicle and it's found before the insurance can even pay out. So you're not going to get your vehicle paid off or anything like that as a total loss. So my suggestion is I will put a link down below to a very inexpensive steering wheel lock. Again, these are pretty much impenetrable unless you have say a Sawzall with you, and most of these boneheads are not carrying that, so they're not going to be able to defeat it. Most of them will not mar or hurt your vehicle's thing. If you have the ability to put your vehicle in a locked parking garage, that will also help. Or if you have a home and you can put it in the garage, that'll also help. But again, if you have a key like this, you will not have to worry about it. But again, a lot of these guys are taking opportunities of rattling doors that you leave unlocked. So you need to make sure you secure your vehicle at the end of the day or when you're done driving it. And don't just leave it unsecure, giving them already the first step in. And again, down below, I'll put in a link to the club type devices or steering wheel lock devices that you can go search for. If you find one that you like better or is a little bit smaller, again, they're going to look in and see that and they're going to be gone. So cheap insurance. And then when your insurance, heaven forbid, something was to happen, then you can at least say, hey, listen, I purchased this to help prevent my theft and everything like that. Now, there is a software update that's coming from these manufacturers, but that's only going to help in some respects, meaning you're going to have to go and get that update because it's not going to be probably pushed over the air. So you're going to need to go down and get the update. And then what it does is it just makes the normal type security measures, say a louder alarm or a longer type alarm that's going to honk. It's not going to necessarily defeat the whole way these people are doing it. So that would be my 2 cents. Again, if you don't have a physical key that goes in the ignition, this just stays in your purse or your pocket or wherever else and never comes out. You do not have to worry about it. If you do have a key, you might want to look below about looking at one of those steering wheel locks. Again, cheap insurance. Guys, smash the button down there in the corner so you can subscribe to my channel. A lot of great content coming up on the Tucson and other models of cars. Thanks again.